Hello, Arnab, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible. Slides is also visible.
Arnab, your voice is not coming properly. Someone else, can you just confirm if I am audible?
You are audible, sir. Yeah, and slides are also visible.
Arnab, your voice is not coming properly.
You are audible, sir.
Hello, I think my audio is. Okay, just Okay, so I hope I am audible to all of you because it seems my speaker is not working properly. Can any of you just confirm quickly?
You are audible, sir.
This fine?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
I think my audio is not working properly. Okay, so hopefully now I am audible properly. So Arnab, can you just once again
Yes, sir, you are audible and slides are also visible.
Yeah, fine. Now there's a problem with my speaker. I was not
Okay.
hearing you properly. Okay, so I hope this is okay. Recording we already started. So actually, I missed this recording in the last class. So I'll try to record that class once again so that I can upload in the Moodle for that for others who are not uh, attending this class in person or joining class. So okay, so in the last class, that is yesterday's class, we tried to understand this variation. So now our objective, overall our objective is to find out this variation of electron concentration, hole concentration with X, that means across the p-n junction, then variation of current, hole current density and electron current density, that means Jp and Jn, as well as electric field variation along the device, that means with the X. So essentially in the last class what we did, so we have seen the variation of this both minority carrier concentration as well as majority carrier concentration distribution across the PN junction in log plot, because we need this log plot to see this minority carrier concentration, because you can see in the linear plot we can only observe the variation across the junction, the variation of majority carrier across the junction, because you can understand that the majority carrier concentration is 10 to the power 16 per centimeter cube, whereas the minority carrier concentration is 10 to the power 4. So it is very difficult to observe this two concentration in case of linear scale, but when we will use this log scale we can see this variation. So again, we have understood this the importance of this both scale. So the importance of this log scale and linear scale is, see, in linear, this linear scale helps us to have this depletion approximation, because whenever we'll use this linear scale, we'll see that there is a drastic change in the carrier concentration, and so that we can use this depletion approximation. That means we can consider that this depletion or this change in the carrier concentration is abrupt at this depletion edges, that means here as well as here. So this we can consider if we consider this linear scale, or when we see this linear scale. Again, this particular depletion approximation helps us to calculate the potential or the built-in potential as well as the electric field variation as a function of X. So then this depletion approximation is important to calculate these two parameters. However, this depletion approximation or this linear scale we cannot consider if we try to calculate this diffusion current at this junction, or this at this depletion edge. Because if we consider that there is abrupt change in the carrier concentration, so then this dp dx or dn dx will be infinite, which leads to infinite diffusion current, which is also not true. So again, that is why this two scale, how this carrier concentration or this n or p, that means electron concentration as well as hole concentration, is varying in case of linear scale as well as in log scale, we need to understand, because the application is different. So then from this depletion approximation and this space charge, that means the immobile ions, which will lead to this built-in potential. So that is essentially our built-in like the, we can calculate the electric field. So from the space charge, this distribution, so that is q na or q n d, we calculated or we have observed this electric field variation with X. So this is coming from the Gauss law. So once again, if we integrate this particular electric field distribution with the X, we'll get the potential variation. So this is finally this potential variation with the X. Now once again, this particular formula also, like this relation we derived, which is coming from the charge neutrality equation. So this is relating the doping density along with the depletion region towards P side to depletion region towards N side. So because now another question or we had that why this point, that intrinsic point, is towards N side, because this since this N side has low doping, so our this intrinsic point is shifted to this N side, and our majority of the depletion region, that is out of this total depletion region XD, the majority will be major part will be in the N side, because it has low doping considering this P side. So these are the parameters we have pictorially we have observed. Now if we try to derive this mathematically, so that part we'll do quickly today. So then here also we understood that why there is no current flowing because of the built-in potential, because from our basic understanding we can guess like whenever there is some potential or the electric field, there should be some current flowing through the external circuit, but this built-in potential will not give us any current, because this is a thermal thermal equilibrium this quantity, as well as so there will be some potential developed at the metal semiconductor junction if we connect this PN junction with another external circuit, as well as this Jn and Jp, that means the electron current density and hole current density will be zero, because this electron because of the carrier diffusion as well as carrier drift, so which we have understood from this here. So here we have discussed this point. So whereas we'll get this diffusion of carriers or diffusion of electrons from right to left due to the gradient in the carrier concentration, but there will be drift of electrons due to the built-in potential within this depletion region. So both of them will cancel each other. So essentially the current density due to electron or the current density due to hole individually will be zero. So this is the concept. Okay, so now we have drawn the NP variation with X. Again, this Jn and Jp is 0, so this is the NP variation with the X. This Jn and Jp is 0 because this is under thermal equilibrium. Again, there should not be any current flowing through the diode. This is all the calculation we are currently doing for the equilibrium, thermal equilibrium condition, as well as this is the variation of electric field with X. So this is pictorially or qualitative way we have seen in the last class. Now let us try to derive this equation, and for that once again we need to take help from this basic 5 equations. So these 5 equations we have already discussed in the beginning of this particular module. So the first 2 equation is the current density for your electron as well as hole because of the drift as well as diffusion. So then the next 2 equation is the continuity equation, so which is relating your carrier concentration variation with the time as well as the current density variation with the time along with the excess carrier, that means generation as well as recombination. So in case of recombination we are writing del n by tau. So which you can write like that recombination is actually equal to del n by tau, and del n is the excess carriers, n minus n naught. So n naught is once again your equilibrium electron concentration, and p naught your equilibrium hole concentration. So these are two are the continuity equation considering your electron and the hole, and the fifth one once again is the Gauss law. So we have now these five fundamental equation, and once again, so for all the like to get the mathematical formulation of any electronic device terminal characteristics, that means IV characteristics, if we can understand these five equation, we can easily derive this IV characteristics or terminal characteristics of any electronic devices. So now from here we have these five variables. So NP, that means electron concentration, hole concentration, electron current density, hole current density, and electric field. So these are the five variables we need to solve from these five equations. So first, so let me write now. I think we can write here. Okay. So first condition is, just we have seen at equilibrium our Jp and Jn equals to 0, because this is under thermal equilibrium, and once again we have discussed that why there will be no current density for electron as well as hole, because this drift and diffusion part will cancel out each other. So now if we consider this Jp, or the current density for holes, equals to 0, so then we can also write like this current density for hole equation is Q dp dx plus Q mu p, sorry, electric field, which is equals to 0. Now another relation we know, that Einstein's relation, which relates this mu with mu is the proportionality constant for your drift current. That means here we can write mu p into Vt equals to dp. So this is Einstein's relationship, so which we have derived in the previous module. So now if we just simply put this value in this first equation, we can get electric field in terms of thermal voltage divided by P dP dx. Now to get this built-in potential psi naught, what we need to do, simply we need to integrate this electric field along the distance. So this is E dx integral over from P side to N side, and here we will have a negative sign, and overall our objective is to find out the value. So that means the absolute value. So we'll take the mod of this overall integration. So if we now put this electric field from here, so then this dx and dx will get cancel out, then we'll have Vt dp by p integration over P side to N side and this negative sign will be there. We also need to take mod, and finally it will take this form Vt ln pp naught divided by p n naught. So this is psi. This particular equation we derived previously also, like one. So in the first discussion of here, not first, I think second discussion of this particular module 2. So but we came to this relation differently. So this is this relationship once again called Boltzmann relation. So similar, so this is this psi naught, or the built-in potential, we are getting from this Jp equals to 0, and similarly from Jm equals to 0 we can find this particular built-in potential equation in the in terms of your, here it is coming in terms of hole concentration. So that means, see, P naught is the whole concentration in the p side at equilibrium. Pn naught is the whole concentration in the n side at equilibrium. Not, this naught stands for equilibrium quantity, and that means this majority carrier divided by minority carrier. So this is all coming on due to the hole. Now similarly, if we consider this Jn, or the electron current density, equals to 0, so you considering that current and the diffusion current, so the same built-in potential we can find out. So where once again we'll have this electric field as this, and then the built-in potential in terms of electron concentration we can find out ln n naught divided by np naught. So again, which we can relate to now whole also. So this is the overall your built-in potential. So now what about electric field? So if we see this graph, so this is the electric field variation across this depletion region, or across the PN junction. So then if we want to get this electric field, or the if we want to get this potential from this electric field, so then simply we need to take the area, or we need to integrate this. So then we can write, so simply I think just we can write like your psi naught, that this potential psi naught, this is the psi naught, overall your built-in potential. So this psi naught is essentially half into total depletion region xp plus xn into your em, which is the maximum electric field. So here our objective is to find out once again this xp xn. So we'll try to calculate. I should have written this here. So we need to calculate or derive from those following 5 equation. Xp, that means the depletion region in the p side, depletion region in the n side. So obviously then total depletion region xt. Then what is the maximum electric field at this one junction, metallurgical junction, and what is your psi naught, psi p, and psi n. Again, this psi naught equals to psi p plus psi n. So this is the built-in potential within the p side. This is the built-in potential in the n side, which we have already discussed yesterday. So this is the psi n, and this is the psi p. and total we have this psi naught. So these are the parameter we'll try to derive. So now we have already derived psi naught. Let us try to calculate now electric field, or the maximum electric field at the junction. So which is, once again, xp plus xn, and we also know that from the charge neutrality equation. Where is this charge neutrality equation? So we derived this in the last class. So this one, q na into xp should be equals to q nd into xn. What is this? That means the charge this side should be equal to the charge here. So then again, then only this all the electric field starting from here will end to this p side. So it has to end, because outside this depletion region there should not be any existence of electric field. So all the electric field lines starting from this this donor positive ions should end up to this acceptor negative ions. So these are all uncovered charges, or the ions. So then from this charge neutrality equation, we have this relation between your xp, or the depletion region in the p side, depletion region inside, with the doping nd and na. So if we write once again xp by xn, now from here we can take out this xp. So then we can put this xp value here. So then we can rewrite this equation, half em nd by na plus 1 xn equals to psi naught. But in this equation still we have this two unknown. So this xn and em both are unknown. So then here we need to utilize another relation. So this relation first let me write, then I hope that you will understand. So xm divided by x, so em divided by xn equals to q nd by epsilon. From where this relation is coming, see here. I'm sorry that I need to do all this change in slide. So this is coming from here. See this slope em, this is em, maximum electric field. So this is the xn. So this em xn is equals to, so this is again nothing but your this Poisson equation. So em xn is equals to the charge here in this inside, and this charge is obviously this qnd. So qnd divided by x, this epsilon. So then the slope, so the slope is actually this charge here from this Poisson equation. So the slope em by xn equals to q nd by epsilon. So from this relation we can write this equation. So em by xm, that means the slope in the n side is related with the charge divided by epsilon. So now from here we can take out this xn, and we can put this xn value here. So then what we'll get? So we'll get q nd and if we take this nd inside, it will take a better form, which will be psi em square divided by 2q. Now it's 1 upon na plus 1 upon nd, and I'm writing here. So from here you can get this EM, or the maximum peak electric field, 2q psi naught divided by epsilon 1 upon Na plus 1 upon Nd. So now we have peak electric field. We derive this peak electric field at the junction. Now next we need to calculate or derive the formula for xp and xn. So once again we can write this psi naught equals to half into peak electric field divided by multiplied by xt. So then from here your xt equals to 2 psi naught divided by em. Now here we have already em, so if you put this em here, we'll get the xt, or the total depletion region, and that total depletion region xt will be equals to let me write this final one. So this is xd. So now we also know this psi naught, that is the Boltzmann relation. So pp naught divided by pn naught. So this particular equation we can rewrite, say this is this if we consider that all the acceptor ions are ionized, so then this is nothing, pp naught is equals to Na, and this Pn naught you can find out from this mass action law, that is Ni square divided by Nd. So which will we can rewrite this finally, this built-in potential once again in terms of doping concentration Na Nd divided by Ni square. So this relationship is very important to calculate our built-in potential and to solve other numericals. So now, what is the time now? Okay, so now if we have almost derived all the other all the necessary these parameters, psi naught, xt, then from actually, so here we have this xt. So now we know this xd by xn, sorry, so xd equals to xt equals to xn plus xp, and this xn and xp, these two relationship we already know from the charge neutrality equation. So if we utilize this relationship, so let me write it here once again. So let's say xn So these two relationship along with this xd. So from here we can individually calculate xn and xp. Okay. So now we have derived all the parameters. So if we summarize all this parameter and this derivation, see. So first of all, once again, we need uh, to utilize this 5 fundamental these equations, that those two transport equation, then two continuity equation and Gauss law. So then from there, let me just draw and then summarize this. So how are we getting all these parameters? So once again, this is P plus, this is N, and this is XP, this is XN, this is total depletion region XT, and this is the EM, maximum electric field. So initially, see, if we look at all this derivation, so this how we are deriving all these parameters. Just look at the flow. So that is why I am trying to summarize all this mathematical derivation, so that you can easily remember how we are coming to all these parameters from those 5 basic equations. So see, initially from this, by calculating this area under this electric field distribution, we calculated this psi naught, or the built-in potential, which is coming from Jp as well as Jn equals to 0. That equation, that transport current equation, we are getting this psi naught. In I square. And then we calculated this xd after calculating psi naught, and then considering this area under this electric field is the built-in potential. So from here we can calculate the xd, or the total depletion region, which is equal to 2 psi naught psi p divided by, sorry, so this one we calculated, and then this EM we can find out just simply from that simple equation, which is equals to, this is minus EM, so it will be equals to minus 2 psi naught divided by xt, and this individually these values also we can understand, like this xn equals to Na divided by Nd xp. So now see, we have used only Jp, Jn equals to 0 and Gauss law. So we have used these two law to, or essentially these 3 law, to derive all these parameters. Now remember, in this equilibrium, this condition, we have not used this continuity equation. remember this continuity equation. Once again, just so these are the continuity equation, because in the equilibrium condition this continuity equation is the trivial equation because both sides we have 0. So there is no carrier concentration change with the time, as well as there is we have just seen that J's individually this current density Jp and Jn, they are 0, and there is no excess carrier because this is once again at thermal equilibrium. So this is the semiconductor under dark, no electric field, no magnetic field, only there is some temperature. So that is why here we have not used this continuity equation to derive all these parameters. We have only used transport equation and the Gauss law. So this correlation you should always remember so that you can easily derive all the other parameters for other devices. Essentially that those 5 equations you should always keep in mind. So when deriving these parameters. So what is the time now? Okay. Should we stop here? Okay, I'll not go further today because today we have this test, and then still we have 17 minutes. Okay. Or else just I can take 7 minutes because other only here 30 students are here. So then we can start probably. Okay, just in that case, just I'll shortly yes, I'll quickly just mention few important concept regarding this band diagram, because we have used this band diagram when initially we discussed this PN junction fundamentals, but let us try to see few more details of this energy band diagram of PN junction under equilibrium. So once again, let us consider this P plus N junction. So we have smaller depletion region here, larger depletion region here. So first thing which will be continuous under equilibrium is the Fermi level. So then this is EF. Then now this is the space charge region. We know these are the neutral region. And now okay, this is P side. So again this is P plus. So your valence band will be closer to the Fermi level than this N side, where Fermi level will be closer to conduction band. So we can draw here, and let us consider this valence band here. And now similarly, I don't know whether I'll be able to exact. So your conduction band will be here in the P side. Okay. So then there is some concept called E naught, and then E naught is the energy of free carriers. Like anyway, in normal PN junction we do not need to discuss this, but whenever we'll use PN junction, or whenever we need to discuss heterojunction. Heterojunction is junction between two dissimilar material. That means this band gap will be different in case of heterojunction. So that means two different material having different band gap. But here, in case of normal PN junction, you can understand like this is the same material. So the overall this band gap EG here is exactly equal to the EG here. So only the difference is in doping. There is no change in the band gap. So, but there are few materials or the devices which use this heterojunction. In that case, that E0 concept is very important. Anyway, so just I'll mention this E0, this concept here. So this is the energy for free particle. So again, this is from the conduction band to that that is also called vacuum level. So that distance is nothing but the called the affinity. This is another parameter. This parameter will once again see in case of metal semiconductor junction. That means the next module. So this affinity, since this is the same material, so the affinity in the P side will be exactly equal to the affinity in the N side and the in the neutral region. So this is the thing, and now we need to connect this, because what will be the behavior in the this space charge region, or this where we have this electric field. Here also almost. So this is E0, and distance from here to here is the electron affinity. So again, we also have this intrinsic Fermi level that is at the middle in your band gap. So here few important discussion. Just what is the time? Okay. See, sometimes there is some confusion. So what will be the behavior or the slope of this band or this band, this conduction band or the valence band within this depletion region? Can you guess? Like I think you have drawn this many times maybe. So then what will be the shape of this conduction band as well as valence band as well as this vacuum level? So within this depletion region, what will be the shape? Is this straight line? Is this some parabolic variation or anything else? So the answer to this question is this variation will be parabolic. Remember, see, this is sometime I think we have seen this. There is this kind of this distribution. So there we are drawing this straight line coming from your P side to N side, and these straight lines are coming. This slope we are considering constant. But so remember, see, these are the potential. These energy levels are the potential of electrons. So this energy level, what is this? This is the electron volt. So here our electric field has this constant slope from the Poisson's equation. Once again, this Poisson equation. But this conduction band, valence band, these are representing the potential of electrons. That is why these are again this whole potential we have calculated, that is like this just previously. So these are the potential of your electron. So not whole potential, that the potential considering the positive charge. So we have calculated from the this depletion, this space charge carrier concentration. So this essentially this conduction band, valence band, they are the your potential level, not the this electric field associated with this. So this variation will be parabolic. Okay, because obviously the electric field, if we integrate, we will get the parabola, the constant this electric slope. If we integrate, we will get the parabola. So these are all the parabolic variation we have. So anyway, so finally the principle or the main factor when drawing this energy band diagram under equilibrium we need to consider. So there will be constancy. There will be constancy of EF, and there will be continuity of E naught. Continuity of E naught. Why? What is continuity of E naught? E naught is this level. See this energy, this line, this energy, this is representing the energy of free electron. And continuity means, see, if there is any discontinuity, like let's say there is any discontinuity, sudden jump or something, so then it represents infinite electric field, because this is the potential. So then again equals to dV dx. So then if there is any discontinuity in this line, so then there will be infinite electric field in the free inner electron. So this is, let's say you have PN junction, and then this is the electron here, free in electron. So then if we have any discontinuity in this E naught, so it means that this free electron has infinite electric field. So that is not possible. That is why this E naught, this line will always remain continuous. There will be no discontinuity. However, just I am mentioning here, maybe in future you may need this concept. If we have any heterojunction where we have this band gap different than this band gap, so then there might be some discontinuity in the conduction band, valence band, or in both these bands. So in both this conduction as well as valence band, so there might be some discontinuity. So because you can understand this Eg is not equals to Eg2, so in that case that Eg minus Eg2, that variation you need to accommodate somewhere again. So there might be some discontinuity, but E naught in that case also will be continuous. There will be no discontinuity in the E naught. So these are the two principles we need to follow when drawing this band diagram under equilibrium. Okay, fine. So I'll stop here. I'll not move further. So it is already 3:54 and we need to start our module test. So okay, so if you have any doubts, anything regarding today's this class, please let me know, because we still have some time to start our test. How many students are here? Only 33, including me. Okay, I think in that case we can stop the recording.